Hi, I'm Kimberly at Singing for Your Soul, and I'm going to be joining Barbara in facilitating this Place in the Circle event, which is all about sound and silence and how our voices matter, which actually means a lot of things, and we'll talk about that. So I'm new to Michigan. I wanted to tell you a bit about myself and what you can expect at this gathering. So voice and sound have been with me from the beginning. Actually, they've been with all of us from the beginning, but I just particularly love the sonic realms. And I grew up in a very musical family. I cherish those early memories and experiences of the warmth and the well-being that I experienced with music. They were especially helpful as some difficult things happened during my upbringing, and I had post-traumatic stress disorder and acute anxiety and a number of other health conditions that I experienced. So from my earliest years, music was such a soothing influence and refuge for me. So I received a bachelor's in music and my master's in vocal performance, and I was performing a lot professionally, and I was having panic attacks while I was performing, and so I eventually became so miserable that I realized I really just needed to rethink my entire approach to music. I went into music because it brought me joy, and it was actually bringing me misery. So I left performing for a while, and that created this whole life crisis that I experienced. And what ended up helping were yoga and naturopathy and Eastern philosophies, meditation, energy work, along with my discovering and learning more about sound healing. So I ended up opening a voice studio in Santa Monica, California. I won several awards for several years running for Best Voice Studio in Santa Monica, which was an amazing honor. While I was there, I collaborated with a friend for Yoga Journal on a voice training program for yoga teachers, and had some generally just wonderful experiences while I was there. But my partner Marvin, who's also a musician, and I both wanted to live a less hectic life, closer to nature and solitude. And so we decided to relocate to Michigan, which is where he's from originally. So we're currently living in Jackson and rehabbing a sweet little house. And I now run an online voice studio where I get to work with clients from all around the world. It's really fun. I also see clients in person for voice lessons and for sound therapy sessions. So that is a bit about me. Let's now talk about you. So is this event something that speaks to you? That's what we want to discover. So in my experience with actually now hundreds, I don't know how many hundreds of people that I've at this point worked with, but what I've learned is that using our voices well is a natural human desire and ability. In fact, I've really come to believe that it's essential to our health and spiritual integration. Our world right now is going through tremendous changes. Nobody needs to tell you that. And there has been this holistic shift in the West that started with the increasing popularity of yoga and meditation and Eastern philosophy and acupuncture, these kinds of modalities. And I really believe that these have helped us to open our bodies and to evolve our consciousness, and that working with our voices is the next stage in this evolution. And there's so much I could say about that. I'm going to try to keep it brief, but there's so much shame in our society around the sound of our voices, both singing and speaking. And to fully regain our power, we've got to reclaim our voices. They just put so many things into place within us. And once we get the basics back in place, it's natural for our voices to use them well, and it's so energizing. So when we approach our voices with a conscious, loving mindset, they blossom, and we tend to blossom in so many other areas as well. So During this day, we'll be doing exercises that gently open us up physically and energetically and vocally. We will be doing different movement practices, learning some really awesome vocal technique and breath and sound healing exercises. And we'll also be learning to sing songs, but with a particular focus not so much on how we sound, but on healing for ourselves and for our world as an act of service. That's the main focus, although we will do exercises that will help you sound better very quickly. We're going to do this in a very safe environment where we'll be letting go of judgment and allowing the deliciousness of sound vibration to move through us and around us. So we'll have a sound healing also, where I'll use some of these kinds of instruments, like these Tibetan bowls back here. I'll use these and drums and harp and my own voice to facilitate a healing space for you. Now, as you probably know, Barbara is a wonderful guide. She'll be working with us on some writing and other inner voice exercises that will dovetail really beautifully. So the final things to know, the exercises we'll be doing, a lot of people wonder what they can help with. These will very gently assist with your overall well-being. So anything that you can think of, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual issues, can be supported through this work. Lunch is going to be healthy and yummy and wonderful. And the building that we're meeting, the Anthroposophical Society, is really beautiful for this kind of gathering if you haven't been there. So I hope that this is helpful and that if this speaks to you, that we will see you there. Also, if you have any financial concerns or constraints, please email about that. I know that A Place in the Circle is really willing to work with you to make it possible for you to attend. So don't let that stop you. And I just want to wish you many blessings. Namaste.